Okay, cool. Thank you all for joining my TED Talk, which was the joke that I made earlier, but not everyone was here, so I had to reuse it. Okay, so today we're going to use Canva, and we are also going to use the standard movie maker that comes on Mac. Windows has an equivalent, but really, I guess your takeaways from this this session today should just be kind of like the general theory of like what you should be, what you should be doing, right? What you should be focusing on. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with Canva with intros and outros. And then from there, we're going to move into editing. Okay. So first of all, I'll show you that, sorry, 1 second. Where's my video here? Okay, so you all would have seen the video with Usman that I included in the demo, in the demo day brief. So we're gonna start with outros. So this currently, right here, is our video intros and outros. You can forget the sound, we always do it mute anyway. So that's about 20 seconds long. Of course, we never actually use the whole 20 seconds. It's just so that we have the liberty of using this video every time. And every time, if I'm feeling fancy, I just cut a different 3-second clip of it. So it looks like a different outro every time, but it's actually the same one. Okay, so how did we get to this outro, right? Is literally going into Canva. Okay, so first of all, Canva, just canva.com. It is the, like hands down the best design platform for non-designers you can use. It's super easy. First of all, just in terms of the usability of the platform. But then in addition to that, it also gives you countless resources in the form of templates, in the form of logos, fonts, photos. The photo library on this website is ridiculous. They've acquired like 3 or 4 large photo companies. This is where it's at. And especially for people like yourselves, founders who wear many hats in your organization. So you're probably, the salesperson, the business person, the CEO, and also the marketing manager. This is definitely an asset to you. So basically what we're going to do is, to start, we're going to type in YouTube, and then here we go. We've got a couple different ones. Oh wait, this is searching my designs. Let's start with create a design. We're gonna go back. YouTube, cool. YouTube, channel art, thumbnail, icon, all these different things. Now we're gonna go down here to YouTube intro. So this will not only load a whole bunch of different templates right here on this side, but it'll also size it to the exact specifications of a YouTube video. Okay, so now here, we'll see here on the left-hand side, there are a bunch of templates. Let's start with this one. So this one is 6 seconds long. What does this one look like? Just loading. Basically, all of these templates here are videos. And what this is really about is you just finding one that kind of looks the most appealing to you, or the most relevant to your brand. So, and then don't worry about the photos, don't worry about the colors, don't even worry about the fonts, right? All you're looking at here, right, is something that kind of just from a ways away, it just looks appealing. It looks like it fits your brand. Okay, so for example, and another thing is that just because you've picked a template doesn't mean you can't change it, right? So you're not married to a template. So let's go 1 second. Let's go here and add another one. So I'm just gonna get rid of all that. And then we're gonna look at this. I'm gonna do this. So does this look familiar to anyone? No?
The white gap one.
This one looks like the Y gap one? Okay. Well, this actually was this at one point. But what I've done is I've become inspired. I really like this idea. This kind of fits with our brand of you know, kind of the bold white letters with a picture in the background that's kind of gently faded. So here, what we're gonna do is, so let's have a look at the elements here. So this is black, okay, cool. And let's just say we wanna do, let's do Leanna, we're gonna do you, swap. There. I don't know. Okay, so now that photo doesn't really go with Swap Up Porter, right? But you can find some that do. So let's go to photos here real quick. Let's just do close. This one looks good. Oops, let's try that again. If you kind of hover it right next to the edge of the frame, it automatically places itself. And then what's happened here? Now this isn't what we had before, right? This is now actually a lot brighter than what we had before. So what are we gonna do? We can come here and turn this black. And then, actually, no, we don't wanna do that. Sorry, that's my bad. We're gonna go back to our photos. We're gonna come back here. Okay. So we've got our photo, we've got our name there. Now we're gonna go down to elements. And I'm gonna grab this shape. All right, so I don't want that shape to be red. I want it to be black. And then I also don't want it to be fully black. I just want it to be black enough so that I can read the white letters. So I'm gonna pull this down here so that it covers my whole frame. And then I'm gonna pull it back this way. But now I've got the problem that now my letters are darker when they shouldn't be, right? Like ideally I want my letters to be a bright white against you know, this black shape that I've just put in, right? So I'm just letting someone in real quick. So now I'm going to, sorry, 1 second. Someone just write me on Slack, I think. Okay, no, never mind. Sorry about that. Here we are, we're back. Okay, so now I've got the issue that this black, you know, kind of black semi-transparent shape that I've put in here now that's on top of the white, and that's not what I want, right? So now what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna make sure that my black shape here is selected, right? So you know it's selected because the lines are kind of that light blue, they're highlighted. I'm gonna go to position, I'm gonna say backwards. So I want it to go behind the letters. Okay, so now I've got my intro to my video. I mean, this isn't an intro, sorry, that's my bad. This is just a, this could be, I guess, your, I mean, you could use it as a thumbnail. But effectively to make it an intro, sorry, what's going on here? Get me out of here. Let me out, thank you, okay. But if you wanted to make it a video, super easy. Let's just go back here to our, I've got to get rid of this little window here. It's bothering me. I'm going to go back to our photos. Actually, we're going to go down here to videos now. And now I'm going to do close. All right, so we can have a look. We can see some people who are sewing. Some of these videos are sewing. Let's maybe change this to fashion. Let's have a look at this one. So any questions so far? Any questions, comments? Do we want to do it again? Do another one?
The minimum of information in the intro should be our startup name, or should we add anything else?
Yeah. So I think it should be maximum your startup name and a very quick tagline. You know what I mean? So, so for example, for you, Leanna, what's the tagline for your business? Do you have like a kind of like a one-liner?
Yes, like swap clothes anywhere, anytime, something like this.
Okay. Yep. So you do that, for example. So you could say swap clothes anywhere, anytime, like that. Or you could do, I don't know, you could maybe take it a step further if you like. You could say something like clothing upcycling, or you could say upcycled fashion, you know, made easy, or something along those lines, right? But I think, yes, that's a really good question. I think in terms of your intro, it should be super simple. So this, like, super simple, right? There's a lot happening in the background, but this is only ever actually seen for less than 5 seconds. And especially when you guys only have 3 minutes to work with, you don't want to spend 30 seconds on intros, right? And outros. So this, I mean, yeah, you'll probably spend maybe an hour or half an hour trying to like find one that makes it, you know, that you think looks good or whatever. But ultimately it will only actually, you know, be watched for 5 seconds, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, no worries. So basically, let's do another one. Just why not? That was really quick. So let's do another one. Who wants to be the guinea pig? Whose business are we going to work with this time? Okay.
Nando's.
Who? Nando's?
Nando's?
No, one of you guys.
Yeah. So the name of mine
Yeah.
is now Nanpops.
Okay. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, actually, no. Okay, cool. Non-posts. All right.
Yep.
So
Thank
let me
you.
just, yeah, no worries. So is this, this is the new name for AU Grandpas, correct?
Yeah, because I didn't know that grandpas only refers to male.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so
You're from
Spain.
Spain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I get it. Okay, cool. So, all right. So we're going to go back to templates and let's have a look here. Let's have a look. This one looks nice. Or, This one looks a bit more complex. Oh, yes, it is. Okay. Let's do this one. Okay, so see, this is your danger zone, right? This is where you get caught looking at stuff and you're like, oh, but you know, there's so many nice ones. I want to make sure I'm getting like the nicest one. So don't let yourself fall into analysis paralysis, because I do this to myself every time. And like I said, people will only watch this for 5 seconds. So you'll feel like you ripped yourself off at the end. So, so something to consider. Okay, cool. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to, first of all, go to a nice video and we're going to say, we're going to write senior citizen. Let's look at this one, see the previews from this one. Also, you'll notice here that some of these say pro on them. That means it is a paid subscription. However, so first of all, the use of the product is free. Use of Canva is absolutely free. So when you sign up, you're not forced to save a credit card or anything. They do charge, or they do, I guess, charge by photo for some photos, depending on like the quality of them or some of the videos as well. So it's something to consider, but you can always just sign up for a free trial and not have the issue, right? So, okay, so let's have a look here and let's do, okay, so it's Beatriz, it's non-post, right?
Yeah, non-pops. So there's a P before the S.
Oh, nan-pops. Okay, that's cute. Okay, cool. All right, so let's get rid of this, and we can just say here, we can say, what's your tagline, Beatriz?
Meaningful connections.
Okay, and that's not exactly the most fortunate placing for grandma and grandpa in the back here. So what we can do here is we can actually extend the size of this video as well so that it fits the frame better. And there we go. You see that was a bit awkward before when their faces were actually kind of a bit here, like kind of a bit further down. So if you stretch the image a bit more, you can make the image fit however you like. And then of course you can, just letting someone in here. And then of course you can move your, you can move your words around here. You can also just change the font. Basically, it's quite easy. You can either take a video yourself, kind of the way I have with our intros here, which is these are just videos that we had taken from our demo day event last year. So you can either take a video, like your own video, and upload it and then use it as your background for your intro, or you can select from this very extensive library of videos and pictures. All right, so now if we look at that, let's have a look. Oh, look at that. They're so happy and nice. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Okay. All right. So now I've made a cool intro that I'm happy with. So now what am I going to do? I'm going to do the exact same thing for my outro. So here I'm going to say, I'm going to copy and paste, and I'm going to say, oh, Jesus, call me type thing. And then here I'm going to put my contact details. I mean, of course, obviously not that big, but basically your outro is the exact same thing. You can use a different photo if you want, but do make sure you're consistent with the fonts. Basically, your outro is a thanks for listening. Here are my contact details. That's it type thing. Again, your outro will be less than 5 seconds. It'll be like 3 seconds, right? Also take into account, I would say even make it 2 seconds, right? And I would say, because ultimately, on like day of, we'll have your profiles on the same web page, so people can click through and find you again. In addition to that, we're going to have like a request a connection form on the website as well, so people can ask for your details from us, in addition to reaching out to you cold on LinkedIn or wherever else, basically. Or they could potentially, write down your email address when they see it on your thing. But basically, there will be more than enough opportunity for people to reach out to you. Your outro should not be longer than like 2 seconds. So, any questions up until now? No? We cool for now? Okay.
Which contact details should we put? Our phone numbers, our email,
I would say
our...
do your email. So I think, so for best practice is to do kind of like a bit of a community inbox. So for example, for events like this or even online, we just have like a community inbox that's just hello@catalysr.com.au that anyone and everyone can email. It's best practice to do that because even now that you're only speaking to, I mean, you might even now be in a position of, having too many people wanting to speak to you, or too many, like whether they're internal employees or whether they're external stakeholders or potential partners or users even. You don't want to, like, I personally would avoid putting my own personal email, even if it's my work email, online, because there's privacy issues, but I guess ultimately it's up to you. I think best practice, I would put like a hello at or whatever. If you don't currently have an email like for your business or something, then yeah, I mean, put your personal email. But I think best practice would be to put like a community, like a info or a hello at, Nan Pops, or hello at Swapaporte, or, at Charity Bay or whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Again, like I said, we'll be putting in that form for people to request connections. So we will make sure that you are put in touch with, whoever requests to meet you via that form. Okay, so great. So now I've got my intro and I've got my outro, but now what do I do? Okay, so now I've got to download it. So now I'm going to go here to download, and I'll pick my pages. So I really only, so you can, like what you want to do here is you want to download them one by one, right? Because if you download your intro and your outro, it will actually put your intro and your outro right after each other. So you'll only actually download one video. Okay, so make sure that you download them separately. Another thing you can do here is, let's have a look at this video. This video in itself, I'm not sure how long it is. Let's see. So this video, and okay, I gotta move all this like Zoom stuff out of the way. It's so annoying. Go away. Okay, it doesn't matter for now. We can just download it. So basically you're gonna download them one by one, or else they will, it'll stick it together, and you'll only download one video. So now I'm gonna skip off to my desktop, and we are going to edit a video together. So by the time you've done all that, then you should have this. So this is one of our standard outros. I've also got another outro here that's virtually the same thing. Okay, and then here I've got the video of, we're gonna pretend that this is Usman pitching. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to go to Movie, which is iMovie. So like I said, this is really, so Canva, first of all, works on both, obviously, on the web, both Mac and Windows. And then in addition to that, I know, I can't recall exactly what it's called, but I do know that Microsoft have something very similar. So, okay, so here we are now in iMovie. So we're gonna have a look we are going to create a new movie. Okay, so now we're going to start by importing the media. So what are the pieces that we are putting together, that we're stringing together in this video, right? So we're going to go to import media. So we're going to pick them. So I know the things that I want to use are on my desktop. So I'm going to go to desktop. I'm going to look for it. La, la, la. Okay, so this is one of them. This is my pitch video. And then I'm also going to come here and I'm going to find my other one. Video outro. Yep, that one. And then where's my other one? Here's my, it's my alt video. Do we have my intro here? Where'd we go? All right, if I can't find it now, it doesn't matter. We can just do a bit of a copy paste. Okay, so now I'm gonna cheat real quick actually, and I'm gonna go back to my projects. This is, so now I'm going to cheat and I'm actually going to come in, join. Okay, never mind. Never mind. See, this is what I get for trying to cheat. Okay. All right. So basically here, let's just pretend that's my intro. So here we are. See, my intro is 13 seconds long because remember I told you I like to keep them long so that I can just pick a little random snippet of the video every time. And that way it looks like something different every time, but it's really the same video. So I'm going to jump over here and I'm going to say, okay, that's at 11 seconds, 13 seconds. So I'm going to do this. So if I start here and I press the space bar, it'll show me on the right-hand side in the top here, the preview. So if I go back, that's what that is. Okay, so I'm going to choose to use this piece right here, these 2 seconds. Okay. So here I'm going to left click. Sorry, that's a right click. And I'm going to split the clip. So now this is 2 separate clips, but you'll notice that when we play it, that you don't see a difference, right? So here, I'm going to get rid of that. So now if we go to the beginning of my video, it's currently 2 seconds long. Oh, really 1 second long. This is also a very forgiving program because then you can just jump on, you can do kind of like a Command Z. So for Windows users, I believe it's like the Windows symbol, the Windows Z. So if I do that, it'll bring back my huge clip here. If I do it again, it'll also unsplit the clip. So now I'm back to one big clip. So because when I did that, I only had 1 second, I'm going to take it back actually a couple more seconds just for good measure. I can always chop it again. But if I chop it too short now and then I go and I do a lot more, then I can't just undo my way out of it without undoing all the other work that I've done. So I'm going to jump back here. So I've given myself 4 seconds. I'm going to be generous to myself. I'm going to give myself 8 seconds. I'm going to split the clip. I'm going to get rid of this one. Great. Now I've got a 4 second clip. So now, this is one tip that I cannot emphasize enough, right? So this is in terms of planning. So I think the structure of your video, right, should be intro, which is what we're doing right now, this video. And then it should be, your story, which is your problem, right? And then your outcome, which is what you've done, what you've found on the journey of solving this problem, right? So that can look like traction, that can look like an MVP, that can look like invalidation or validation. And then your third bit is your request, okay? So if you think about it in those 3 major things that need to happen in your pitch, then you can further break it down from there. And this will also make it a lot easier for you to film it, right? Because you're only thinking about a limited number of things to say. So I'm going to show you guys real quick here. This is Usman and I filming, doing this exercise, exactly what we're talking about now. Okay, so just have a watch of this real quick. So something I want to stop here real quick and say, and have you guys take note of, is to have a look here at the frame, right? So have a look at the elements in the frame and where Usman is sitting. Okay, so Usman is sitting in the middle of the frame, and he's also kind of framed, if you will, by things on either side of him, right? So he's got this whiteboard here, which is very fitting for the context of this video because effectively this video is being watched by students, right? He's also being kind of, it's very casual, right? But he's still also being a bit professional. It is kind of a sign of the times as well, obviously, with everyone being homebound at the time of filming, right? But you can see here as well, that's a very unfortunate still of his face, but you can see here as well that he's also wearing, a Catalysr t-shirt, and then he's also got his earbuds in here. So the audio that is recorded in this video is actually being recorded via his earbuds, not via the laptop or his phone. Like, it is being recorded on his phone with the video, but it's being recorded via his earbuds. So that's why the sound quality on these videos is so much better as well. So, and then you'll see, so he's got this whiteboard here, and then he's got a window, and then he's, kind of like faked a little like library situation here where he's basically just kind of grabbed 5 books and a little, doll, like Nikola Tesla doll. And yeah, so this makes him look like he's in an office. It makes him, look like a teacher, right? So something to consider. Another thing is the lighting. So something here as well that you don't really notice is that right here behind Usman, this is a big, like, that's a built-in wardrobe with a mirror. That whole wall is a mirror, right? So we had to put that whiteboard there because otherwise you would see the back of Usman's head the whole time, and me on the laptop as well, directing Usman to film himself. So make sure there aren't, so, sometimes you have to put in these kind of bigger elements or bigger things, right? To remove other things that could be really distracting from your pitch, right? You don't want anything that is really distracting in your video because you are the focus of attention. And that applies to things like slides, that applies to, to lots of things, right? To your environment, to a stain on your wall, to, you could see, for example, in my frame right now, in my Zoom call frame, you can see my front door and you can see my bedroom door, right? But if my bedroom door were open, you would see my fan, you would see my yoga mat, you'd see my carpet, you'd probably see my dog asleep on the floor, and you'd be watching that instead. So just consider your surroundings. And the best way to do that is to just start filming yourself, do 10-second like test clip, blah, 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 and then watch it. And so you can hear yourself and you can see yourself, because once you're actually looking at the video, then you'll start noticing things that are in the way. So I might just speed this up a bit because Usman talks a lot, but here we go. Okay, so see, this is what I mean, is that sometimes you just need to start saying stuff, right? Just really kind of get it out so that you can do it a couple of times, right? So you can stumble over your words a couple of times, or maybe repeat yourself a couple of times, and get through it, basically. Like it really is important. And again, you know, you're in the privacy of your own home, so you can do it 1,000 times if you wanted to. So what am I going to do here, right, is I know now that I don't need any of the video content that is past or before this point, sorry, right? So again, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to split it, and I'm going to get rid of that. So something that I've done before, like while we were filming this, is I've actually made a shot list. So you might have heard me just now when I said, you know, week 7, take 1, and then I clapped, right? The reason I clapped is because if you have a look here in the sound, you can see my clap you can see this is where I clapped, right? So you can see the sound wave here. It spikes up quite high, like suddenly, and that's because I clapped. Right, so an easy way to see your takes is to clap. That's why they do that in the movies, basically. They make a high noise so that when I'm looking at multiple videos, but all in the same video, I can easily tell where the next one starts. So for you guys, I mean, that's really only, like, you're only really going to do this once, maybe twice. So like, that's not exactly like, it's not the most important thing to focus on, I guess, out of this tutorial. It was really just kind of like a tip. And okay, I've got a question here. Bad idea to have a nice view, like the city, river, blah, 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 better room. You know what? I think it's up to you. I think it really kind of depends on what you're talking about, right? Like, I think it depends on what you're talking about. I think your background needs to be relevant to your pitch, basically. And then again, you don't want it to be like super, super, super distracting. Another thing to consider is that if you're outside, you're also going to have outside noise. So you don't want to have to deal with that. Okay, so I'm going to go back here and I'm going to say, okay, so I can kind of also tell as well from Usman's face where he's at. So I'm going to come over here so you can hear this. That's my clap. I'm going to start here. Okay. Okay. Another thing. So right now, what I'm trying to do is I want to find the end of this video. Okay. So let's just assume that I've got all the content now, or I only want one piece of content, right? Which is the intro to the week 7 masterclass. So you'll notice here, he stops talking, but then it's quiet for a couple seconds. So give yourself maybe 4 or 5 seconds between takes, basically, right? So before you start recording, wait 5 seconds, and then speak. And then when you finish, wait 5 seconds and stop speaking, or sorry, and stop recording. Why? Because this gives you a lot of leeway when you're putting in transitions, which is what we're going to do very shortly. So, so we've got our thing here. Okay, so, okay, I'm going to cut it there. So I'm going to cut it there, split clip. I don't want anything after that. I'm fine with that. Okay, so now I've got a 39-second video. All right, so now let's just, for good measure, let's just watch this. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there real quick. So first of all, let's have a look at this. Go back here. That's a very harsh transition between our beautiful outro that we slaved away on and the beginning of this video. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna jump here. Let me just minimize this again. We're gonna jump up here to transitions. Now, there are a multitude of transitions here that we can choose from. So let's just say this one is the one I use, which is the cross blur. So we're gonna put it in there. And let's have a look and see how we like that one. Oh. Okay, so all right, so let's have a look at another one. Let's look at the slide left one instead. Let's actually, we have to delete that one. Then we have to go, let's have a look at this one. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, another thing we're gonna do is we're also going to cut me out of there because I don't need to be there. So let's go back now. There we go. Okay, so there's a multitude of transitions you can choose from here. You can watch them and you can get an idea, I guess, of what kind of suits best. So for example, this slide left one, hands down, like definitely not my favorite. I'm more of a kind of a simple cross blur girl, but it's up to you. And so you want to do that between every time, like every time you split a clip. So, I mean, not every time, but you want to do it when you have multiple clips that you want to put together and that might not always, you know, that don't necessarily mesh together seamlessly, right? So for example, I could cut a clip here, something that Usman is saying, right? And I could put it, you know, grab a different clip, put that, and then repaste the clip that I've just taken from this first video and put it third in line instead, right? The thing is, if Usman in the third clip is still talking about something that's relevant to the first two clips, I don't really need to put in a transition because it makes sense what he's saying, right? And chances are that the viewer won't even notice that a clip change has happened. But when you are transitioning from one thing to another, like one topic to another, for example, then you should definitely consider using a transition. Obviously, you know, I would say, again, like one that kind of fits, you know what I mean? One that fits. So I think the cross blur one is pretty kind of subtle in my opinion. I think that the slide one is actually a bit more like, how can I put it, like a bit more kind of in your face. I'm not as keen on it, but doesn't matter. Anyway, the point is you've got a variety of transitions to choose from, and I think that you should, at the very least, use them for transitioning between your intros and your videos, like your clip content, and then also again between the end of your clip content and your outro. And so, okay, so now last thing we're going to talk about is music. Okay, so music is one of those things that seems hard, but it's really not, I promise. But the thing is, you do want to be careful with it, and you do want to test it extensively because you don't want a situation where you've created this beautiful video and then you can't hear yourself because like the crazy weird elevator background music is just like yanked up to 100%, right? So what are we going to do now? We're going to put in some background music into this video. So to do that, you can go back down here to, you can go to audio. So here there's a whole background, or sorry, background library of music, of sound effects, you know, the kind of themed and then theme music. So in terms of theme music, I use a very just kind of standard one. and it's this one called Modern. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab Modern and I'm gonna drag it down here. So now, and also what I'm gonna do is I'm also gonna turn this down a lot, just, you know, for all of us. So now, if I start my video, okay, so now I've got this issue here that I've told you about, right? Which is that the music is too loud for Usman, right? So the music is defeating the purpose here. So what we're gonna do is, number one, we're gonna turn this down the lowest possible, like the lowest we can. So 1% is probably good. Because first of all, something as well that I've learned through my recent foray into video editing has been that people don't actually hear background music. They just don't hear emptiness. You know what I mean? So like background music is purely to prevent emptiness. So if I take this down to 0, right? Can't hear it at all. And now if we just listen to Usman, it sounds a bit awkward because it's only him and it's quiet, super quiet otherwise. Let's look. So what we're gonna do as well is to optimize, first of all, to optimize the sound that we have. So the sound of Usman, I'm gonna go here to sound and I'm gonna reduce background noise. So let's just see the difference that makes. So when we reduce the background noise, it becomes even quieter. Oops. When we reduce the background noise, it becomes even quieter.
We can't hear the sound.
Sorry? You guys can't hear the sound at all?
I said that we cannot hear. No, we can't. We only can hear you, but we cannot hear anything from the video.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe, all right, maybe I can do this. Let's see. Tell me now. Any difference or no? No?
No.
That's so weird. I thought you guys could hear. That's annoying. So this whole time you guys haven't been able to hear me, hey? Or hear the thing? Okay. All right. Well, that's crap. Okay. Were you guys able to hear the sound at all earlier?
No.
No. Oh, guys, should have told me. Anyway, okay, that's fine. Basically, reduce the background noise. It will isolate your voice, or yeah, it will isolate your voices. So the only thing we hear in the video is your voice, right? And then we'll fill up the emptiness in the background with the background noise. Okay, so basically, in order to do that, so we've isolated Usman's voice now in this clip. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm also going to make sure that we turn it up all the way. So I'm gonna turn all of that up to 400%. And then I'm going to turn my music up to 1%, okay? And that is the setting that I have put on the videos that I've sent you guys, the example videos. So you basically, isolate your voice, so reduce the background noise, you pump up the volume on your voice, and then you put your background music on the lowest possible setting, okay? And so the outcome that you'll have will be very much that of the videos that I've shown you, which are, you know, you do hear this background noise, but, or sorry, you do hear the background music, but it's not like overbearing, basically. And it really kind of complements Osman's voice very well. Something to do as well is when you are going through and doing all this editing and stuff is listen to the video with headphones on and then also without them on. So they can sound very different with and without headphones. And it's very likely in this context, right, that people will be watching, I mean, it could be with or without really, but I personally think people will watch it without headphones because it will be at night. But either way, I mean, that's what volume is for, right? So yeah. So I think, okay, so those are the, I guess, like the main bits I want to go over, right? So we discussed, you know, how to create like a good intro or outro. And then you can also use that same method to make some slides if you want to include. Let's just go over this real quick. I'm going to import. I'm just going to show you guys how to let's do this. I'm going to, oh, by the way, there's your banner for your demo day, guys. So what I'm going to do here is this. I remember somebody asked me this question actually yesterday when I spoke about this, and this is how can I put like a picture or a slide up, but you can still hear my voice explaining it. So that is super easy. What we're going to do is you're just going to grab your photo. So you're going to grab your photo here, which you want to make sure that it's the same size as your screen. And you're just going to put it here on top. So when we come here, I mean, I guess now, I know now that you won't hear this, but when we come here, so first of all, we might not want that bit. So that's clearly not the right size. But yeah, that's why it's moving in. Another thing you can do as well is actually to avoid this like zoom in situation. See how that's zooming in there? Is you can just make it another video. So let's just do this here real quick. Oh, okay, we're gonna do this. Okay, so basically all you need to do is put it like effectively above it. But you want to make sure this, see here, this line basically that you've got down here, this is like your continuum, right? And so that's your continuum of video and of sound. Something else you can do as well is, for example, if this also has sound, or if you want to like include other videos, you could also get fancy and separate the audio from the video. So if you do that now, so now you have, this is the video audio, sorry, this is the video audio, and this is our masterclass content. So you can keep the audio here as well, and it'll stay in sync with this video too. But then you can, you know, choose to use other video clips and stuff like that, and kind of keep the audio on the same wavelength here. Okay, do we have any questions? We're a bit over time now, but I just want to take a couple of questions, I guess, before we wrap this up, if any.
Sorry, Marlowe,
No.
I missed the yesterday's session due to your client meeting. Just want to know what is the time for the actual pitch on next Tuesday?
So there's no pitch next Tuesday. Oh, are you talking about the Investor Roadshow?
Yeah.
Oh, I think Kim has put details about that on Slack. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
and then the demo day brief is also available on Slack, so you definitely have a read through that if you weren't around yesterday.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, if you guys don't have any questions for me, then I might wrap this up right now. I will share this video with everyone so that we can so that everyone can